Welcome to Godma's house. Today we're going to do a little something different. I'm going to show you some of the items that I have found in garage sales, thrift stores, and one estate sale, as well as something that I found at a thrift store that I'm going to use on a real quick DIY project. And I'm really hoping you'll stay tuned to the very end, where I'm going to show you some great footage of a couple of bears that I see. My husband and I went up to Banff, and I got so close to a bear and seen two of them out in the wild. And bears are my very favorite animal. And to see them out in the wild, it made my heart sing. So stay tuned till the end, and I'll show you a little clip of the two bears that I've seen. And I wish I could have taken them home, but no go. So let's get going and get this started. Now, I've had a few questions as to how do you know what to buy when I go into the thrift stores or to garage sales. Like, how do I know what's valuable and what's not? Well, to start with, I don't really know a whole lot more than anyone else does, but what I will show you what I look for. And if you're ever uncertain, you can always go onto eBay. Even if you're not like that, you don't sell on eBay, you can just log into eBay and look it up and just see what they're selling for. Now, be sure not to just check what they're listed for. Look at what they actually sold. And I'm just going to show you how to do that real quick. If you go onto eBay, and here I've got some of the Royal Dalton Toby mugs up, and right here you'll see something that says filter. Just press that, and then you can turn on the sold and completed items. So when you do that, then you get what they actually sold for. Not what people want for them, but what they actually sold for. So obviously that gives you a more accurate idea as to what you can expect to sell yours for. Okay, now to start with, I am going to show you this beautiful Odaigiri pheasant bookend. Now, when you're out in the thrift stores, don't be afraid to buy single bookends, because trust me, they sell. They sell. Now, this is a beautiful bookend. It has no chips, no scratches. It was hand painted in Japan. There's the bottom. And it is so well done. Odaigiri, some of their stuff sells really well, and yet other stuff not so great. So I paid $6 for this, and I can expect to get about $25 to $30 on eBay. Okay, next I have something that you probably all have seen in your grandma's house or whatnot, and these are cats. Cats of any kind seem to sell so well, but these ones are old. These ones were purchased in 1978, and they're a beautiful Art Deco, mid-century modern type of look, and they're white, iridescent. I don't know if that's showing up that great on my camera with my lighting, but they are stunning. And there's no chips, no cracks, nothing on them. And a lot of people, believe it or not, are using these for cat urns. So when their beloved feline passes, they cremate them, pour them in, and put in a stopper. So absolutely stunning, beautiful little ornaments. Well, they're not even all that little. They're 4 inches wide and they're 10 inches tall. And I paid $7 for the pair, and I can expect to get anywhere from $60 to $70 for this pair very easily. So that is them. And then I have these little cute porcelain shoes. Now these are from Occupied Japan, and Occupied Japan simply means that they were sent to the Canada to the U.S. between 1945 and 1951. That's the time frame that they had to stamp that it was Occupied Japan. Now these little shoes have no dings, no cracks, no scratches. They did have a gold band right around the top of the shoe, which definitely has worn off in places. But hey, when you're that old, there's a lot of things that wear off, trust me. So these beautiful little porcelain shoes, they're 3 inches long, 1 inch wide, and I paid $6 for the pair, and I can expect to get around $20. So they're not worth that much, but you know what, when they survived this long, I hate to see them just sitting on the shelves. I'm just scared they're going to end up in a landfill somewhere. And these shoes were made for walking. So that's my shoes. Now I have the Royal Doulton Toby mugs. This one is called the Cavalier. Now these are all bigger jugs or mugs, and they are collectible. There's a lot of people that collect them. They used to bring a lot more money than they do now. Now, for this one, I can expect anywhere from $30 to $35. I paid $6 for the Cavalier. A dear friend of mine owned a Aramis? I'm not sure. I don't think I'm saying that right, but that's what, I don't know how to pronounce the name. She owned this one as well as the Beefeater. Now the Beefeaters are fabulous. When I went to England, the Beefeaters, they have Beefeater guys dressed as Beefeaters at the Tower of London, and they just kind of walk you through and tell you all the stories about the Tower of London. It was absolutely my most favorite memory from being out in England. But these guys, there's no chips, no scratches. They are in perfect condition. And again, I can expect to get, $30 to $35, $40 at the most. Okay, and then I have this Maddox of California divided dish. Now this is from 1967. So again, it's lasted a long time. And it's a beautiful avocado green, which is really trending right now. And it too is in perfect condition. No chips, no scratches. There's the back of it. And I can expect to get about $30 for this, and I paid $5. Is this stunning Royal Dutch Czechoslovakian sculpture. It's from the from the Bohemia collection, which was done in about the 1950s, and it's absolutely stunning. I love there's the stamp on it. I love the modern look of this 1950s horse. Like, it just looks like it could be a modern sculpture. I absolutely love it. And it has no dings, no scratches. Very, very elegant looking horse, in my mind. Now, I paid $5 for him, and I can expect to get $35 to $40. And now, last for my haul is this little dish, dessert dish, a trinket dish. It's a McCoy USA 7016, and it's a beautiful brown with the drip glaze. Absolutely beautiful, very well done. Now there is a little mark right there, you can see it, a little white mark, but that is in the pottery itself. It's glazed over top, so that would have happened when they actually did the drip glaze over top of this. So I think it's great, and I got this free at a garage sale. Can't go wrong. And I would think that I could get probably about $15 for this vintage McCoy piece. So when you are out and about at garage sales, thrift stores, take a look. Anything where people have stamped it and signed it, there's probably some value to it. So definitely take a closer look at that. Anything made in Italy seems to have, quite a bit of value. And again, this is piece specific, so do your research, but the research is so easy. I mean, if I can figure this out, you can too. For the next part, now I bought this at Salvation Army, and I paid $3.99 for it, and it's a little headband, and I love the glitter, I love the rhinestones, of course it sparkles. And I also found a bag for $2.99, and it is tassels. I always look for these type of embellishments, because to buy them like at a fabric store, it's expensive. So I always look, and I found this one that is brown, and it's got little wood beads through it. So cute. And my black fringe. So what I'm going to do is I am going to apply this to a hat so that I can recreate that picture of that beautiful hat that we just looked at, and for a fraction of the cost. I found this hat. This is new, the hat, but it's just kind of not exactly what I wanted. So I'm going to DIY it. Seen a beautiful hat, and I wanted it so badly, but the store was closed and we were leaving to go on to another part of our holiday. So I never did get back to buy the hat. And I tried recreating it myself last year. Did not work out at all. I was at my sister's place, and I think she's got the hat hanging on the back of a shed right now. Anyway, I will put a picture of the hat that I found, that I love, but they want $178 for this hat. I don't really want to pay that much, and the brim of the hat is too big for me. So I am going to recreate that hat, and it is going to cost a whole lot less than $178. Try to encourage you guys that if you see something that is just a stupid price, like $200 for a hat, unless that's not stupid in your world, then I want to be you. It's stupid in my world. Okay, for this part, you will just need hot glue and a needle and thread. Now this hat I bought at the dollar store. It's nothing fancy. I paid $3 for it, and the brim was up like that. So I don't want it that way. I'm just going to go ahead and fold the brim down so it is going to look like that. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I bought this tassel at the thrift store as well, and I bought a brown tassel as well that I showed you, and I'm going to buy a brown hat and do the same thing to that one. So this super easy, so I thought I could tack it on to this video and kind of combine the DIY with the with my haul videos, because that's what I do. I just look for things that need a little love or nurturing. This hat needed nurturing, and I loved the hat that I seen, but I didn't love the price. So I've got my hot glue, and simple, I'm just going to put a bead of hot glue along the tassel and stick it right to the very end of my hat, and I'm starting in the back, so that's where the seam will be when I join them. And like I said, I am going to be putting a few stitches in here as well with a needle and thread, just because I don't want this tassel to fall off, and I'm not sure how well the hot glue is going to, I mean, it'll work, but I don't know how permanent it will be. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue that on, and then I think you can all see what I'm doing here. I did start with putting the glue on the tassel, but I find it easier to put the glue on the hat. Just make sure that you don't undo the tassel part before you glue it on, because those tassels will crawl underneath there and stick on. So I am going to finish embellishing my hat with my tassel, and then I will come back. The fringe look is really trending right now. Just removing this cording from the bottom to make the fringes look more fringy. I'm going to have to spray them down, so if you get this fringe and the fringes are going every which way but loose here, just wet it down, let it dry, and they will hang nice and flat. I released the bottom of the tassels, and this is what it looked like. I don't necessarily mind that look, but I am going to straighten the tassels out, but you wouldn't even have to if you don't mind that look. Now I am just going to, this is a headband that I bought from Salvation Army, and I am going to snip the elastic off the end because it's too tight to fit onto my hat. It was kind of pulling it in. And then I am just going to find the center, which is right there, and the center of my hat, which is right there, and I'm just going to start there so that my embellishment on the top is centered properly. So as you can see, there's the center of my hat, and I'm just going to put a little dab of glue, and then I am going to center my embellishment. Right like that. I'm going to keep it right in the center of the black band. But now that I've adhered the center, I can go ahead and do the rest of my hat. And I am, like I said, I am going to put in a little stitching just to make sure that the embellishment stays put. And there's my hat. I wet the fringes down because I want them to hang directly down. I love it. I mean, it does look a little different than the one that I showed you on the picture because mine's white and hers was all black. And I wouldn't have minded if these fringes were a little bit longer, but I don't mind it. For $178 versus this, I'll take this one. I love it. So now that I put it on, I am glad that the fringes are this length because I can easily see through them. It's not impeding my vision at all. I think this is a win-win. Although I kind of remind myself of a lampshade. But you know what? It's a beautiful lampshade. I love it. I will very proudly wear this hat. That's a wrap. That's it for today. I hope I've inspired you to look at thrift store finds, garage sale finds a little differently, and given you some insight onto what to look for. Again, any markings, anything made in Italy is good. And then of course there's like the typical, like the Pottery Barns. That stuff is always worth buying, and a few other things that we will get into on another day. So until then, go out and love and nurture everyone and everything in your part of the world. And stay tuned as I'm going to add the footage of my bear encounter. I was so excited. Love bears. Absolutely love them. So until next time, take good care. You got a tag in your ear. Bear! Bear! Come back! Where are you going? See, that's a fence. You gotta come back. No, don't go. Oh my gosh. Where? I don't see him. Oh, there's a big one back there. Oh, he's huge.